Alright, so I got a quick restart between them. And then we'll get started. Good thing you caught that early. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Joe agreed to, so I don't know. Alright. Alright, now we're starting. Officially. Okay, a little bit of difference between the two right at the start, but should be fine. Oh, a little slow on the remote for Kaz. 28501 78564. Much better code for Joe. Much better entry as well. Just gonna start off with a few second lead here. Couldn't matter a lot, especially given the level of these two runners. Both are around the 23:30 time. Actually, Joe has a PB right now of 23:30, which they set only a few days before the tournament. Well, Kaz's PB, I believe, is 23:20 something. Only a little bit below Joe's, so. Oh, Kaz messes up the fork skip. They aren't too far behind because, again, Kaz has, did start a little bit after Joe, I believe. So it isn't as far behind as it seems, but it is still quite a lot. Because when we watched Geo versus Kaz the other day, a lead like this would have, like, decided the run. So, depending on how both of these runs go, that could be really huge. Seems like about 5 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, about exactly 5 seconds right now. Which isn't too bad, but it is still a lot, again, at this level. Oh, my donator thing isn't showing up. Hang on a sec. Let me fix that. There we go. We both get through Profit Bot just fine. As most would hope so. And Joe's about 2.7 seconds behind their PB, while Kaz is about 5.6 behind right now. You know, Kaz's PB is a 23:24, and Joe's is a 23:30, so. But again, Kaz did mess up some stuff right in house, so. It's gonna be pretty hard for him to make that up, regardless of his PB. Better. Fortunately, it seems like, yeah, just as I say that, it seems like I'm waking up a little bit, so my voice will return to normal within the hour. I think we had a little bit of a movement error from Joe there. So it looks like Kaz caught up him a tiny bit. Maybe a slower fast travel. Didn't quite catch that. I wish it were easier to watch both runs at the same time and look at everything going on, but sometimes it's easy to miss something important. Yeah, looks like Kaz caught up a little bit now. Yeah, only a second behind. They're only a second behind now. Behind. Ooh, nice voice crack. I'm not sure how that happened, actually. Damn. But Kaz mostly brings it back then. Both opting to grab the camera after talking to Silver. That saves one tile over doing the alternative. And that one tile might just be what matters most. Oh, now they're nearly identical right now. In real time anyway. Not speedrun time. Joe already doing the battery craft. Clean. From both of them. Battery craft is definitely one of the bigger challenges in Barons. It'd be pretty easy to do it correctly, but it's just as easy to mess it up a lot. Alright, and we'll see the safe codes here. They will be very important, I think. 98577. Really good code entry from Kaz there for the code he got. Saw there were a few like 6s and 4s and stuff. Or 6, I don't know what I remember there were some numbers that weren't that great. But he did them pretty well for the code he had. And Joe with a pretty okay code. I think Kaz's entry was still a little bit faster, but Joe maintains his lead for the time being. And these fast travels are definitely something that Kaz will be able to save some time on to try to catch right up. Or actually, is he ahead now? He is. Yeah, Kaz is now ahead. By a little bit. Never mind then. Because Kaz's timer is about 2 seconds lower than Joe's in the same exact place, so. Like Kaz is in the lead now, coming back from his house deficit. It's very cool when both of them sync up like this, being able to see them both work at the same time. Kaz with the tiny time save. When you interact with an object and you open the item menu at the exact same frame, you can save a single input by opening the menu preemptively. It saves a very small amount of time, but it is time save. And Kaz, I think, is one of the few runners that even thinks about those things. I myself go for world record runs quite often. You know, I'm no slouch in this game, but I do not go for those things at all. It's not capable of it. Yeah, Kaz with now on a strong lead now. Let's see. It is reversed after the end of Barons. Kaz is now 5 seconds ahead. Something I also just realized, I should probably have something on this layout that shows you who has what number of wins, because again, this is a best of 3, so you might be seeing up to 3 matches in a row from these guys, if they do trade blows, so. Is the Atom thing free? I thought it was a super tight trick. Might be thinking of something else. You just use oh, you can just use a keybind for it. Okay, that makes sense. So it is 1 frame. I'm right, but it's easy to get that 1 frame. My bad. Even I don't know that much about this game. There are a lot more technical people than me. Yeah. Very fun to see the different things you can get by, because this game has just a keybind option where you can bind any key to any action, so there's a lot of things you can do for speedrunning by binding 2 keys to the same thing. Or binding 1 key to do different things. Like just explained by Gio. Oh yeah. Easy. Kaz definitely maintaining his lead so far. Alula is gonna matter a lot here for Joe. But Kaz has had pretty strong Alulas within the past few days. So it's gonna be tough to save time over him unless if he messes up. Even during his match with Gio, he had a pretty nice one. Stopped a little bit, but it was good. I don't quite remember how Joe's Alulas have been going the past 3 days though. Must be good because obviously he's a pretty incredible runner, but I don't quite remember how they've been going, so we'll see. Again, it'll have to be pretty good. It'll have to be at least as good as Kaz's if he doesn't want to lose more time here. That is not easy to do. Alright, Kaz about to start up Alula. Let's see what happens there. Looking strong. No stop. That is going to be so hard to beat. Joe doesn't quite no stop, but he does have a very strong one still, so I don't think he's going to get punished too hard for that. In terms of time loss. Did actually save some time on their PB. In that segment right there, Joe. So. I think they are performing pretty well right now. But, again, just that no stop Kaz Alula puzzle is so good, and it only extends his lead even further. But of course, there's still a lot of the run to go, so we don't quite know what might happen. But Kaz might just be coming into this a little hotter than we thought. They did mention before the run that they practiced tower before this match, and he said it didn't go well. So maybe his tower will be a little shaky, who knows. And jo1215 as well, yes. Kaz with some very quick menuing, and Joe with even faster menuing. Very nice. That's one of my personal favorite menus in the game. So many quick inputs with only half a second, if that. I'm going to try to use a little benchmark here to see exactly how far apart they are here. Kaz enters the room around 11:40. About still 5 seconds behind. 5.5 or so. So the lead is still there, but it isn't quite as bad as I thought it would be after seeing Kaz do that perfect Alula. So Joe's done a pretty good job keeping himself in the fight here, so far anyway. But the same could be said for Kaz. He might... It's very easy to just have a 5-second time loss anywhere later in the run. Out of nowhere. Because when you speedrun this game, especially at a high level, your brain starts to work on like a conveyor belt. Like a conveyor belt of inputs that you know you have to do one after the other. So when you mess something up, the conveyor belt gets jammed. And you panic so hard. Because if one thing goes wrong, your entire flow and your brain just completely gets thrown off, and it's so easy to just panic and do 7 different things in a row that don't make any sense. Pretty good menuing from... Oh, we got a wrong fast travel from Joe. Very unfortunate. I feel that really hard. Accidentally goes to the village instead of the gate, but does make up for it with a pretty fast load. That is going to extend Kaz's lead by a few seconds. And further. Joe's menuing is a little faster there. They're going to need every single boost like that they can get. Not going to be easy to make up on Joe's part. Joe gets a George 1 and Kaz gets a George 3. That might be something, but even then... Kaz has shown to be really strong in tower in this tournament so far. But again, who knows? 8 seconds behind since... 8 seconds behind since T-Vents. And it seems about correct. Pretty good lead from Kaz so far. Much stronger than any lead we saw in Kaz versus Gio. I believe the end of that run was only 6 seconds apart, even after everything that happened. So for Joe to make this up, Kaz pretty much has to mess something up. I don't think speed alone can fix it. Just maybe, but I guess we'll see. Right, upper refuge here. Pretty fast split. At least in the way I split it myself. A lot of runners don't split this area, but Kaz is a very fast load there. See how Joe's goes. Joe's goes. About just as fast. Kaz enters on a mid 55. He's about 9 seconds behind. The only other part of upper refuge that could really decide anything is the battery craft. Not the battery craft, the magnet craft. It's a pretty simple crafting option in the game, but it can be messed up. Then after that comes the elevator code, which, if done wrong, could really screw someone up. I believe messing up the elevator code is an instant 3 or so second time loss, if not more. Assuming, of course, you get it right the second time as well, because, like I said, if you mess one thing up, it's really easy to mess it up again, if not make it worse. Just a snowball effect of panicking. Oh, very nice menuing from Kaz there. Preemptively opening the menu again. Pretty strong from Joe as well, though, so he's still in the fight. Doing a good job of not falling too far behind, but again, they don't know that. Because in these high-level matches, you're not allowed to watch the other runner or know where they're at. For all Joe knows, he might be in the lead. And for all Kaz knows, he might be losing by a lot. Who knows? Actually, I don't think Kaz would think that right now. He's on a pretty good run. The only way you can gauge how well you're doing is how well your run is going. But of course, that doesn't mean you know anything about what the other runner's doing right now. Kaz, very good menuing on the code. Let's see how Joe's goes. Second time I said that. Pretty good as well. Not quite as strong, but doesn't mess up. And I think at that point, if I were in Joe's position and I knew where Kaz was, what I would just try to do is be a little bit safe, but still try to go fast, and just kind of bank on doing well in tower. Oh. I thought Kaz messed up some menuing there for a second there. I guess he got a frame perfect input. When you get a frame perfect input on some dialogue options, where say you have to select like the second option down, if you press down and select at the exact same frame, you don't even see the animation for the second option getting selected, so it looks like you mess it up. But in reality, it's just really fast. You saw it there again. That fast travel from Kaz. Oh. A little bit of an error from Kaz that is a little bit of a boost that Joe might need. Equipping the book now. Oh! Oh, that's huge! Kaz messes up Kip Skip. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, this isn't good for Kaz. Joe gets Kip Skip right away, but Kaz takes 3 tries on it. That's the dangers of doing a running Kip Skip. Oh my gosh, and they get George L. Oh, man. That's gonna be huge. That completely just flipped the match around in an instant. Like I was mentioning, it's so easy for something to go Ari. Fortunately for Kaz, this is still a best of 3. So if they lose this, they still can win this match if they win 2 right in a row after this. But Joe is not looking like they're gonna slip up. Of course, there is definitely still tower, and right now that's Kaz's last hope. Because, again, he has had very strong towers today, but... Oh! Oh, man! I thought that I thought that might have soft locked from Joe there, that kip skip. If you close the game too late while passing over the you kip skip by passing through a tile while closing the game, and if you do it too late, then you soft lock the game and end your run instantly. Yeah, Kaz needs to pull something out in tower to take this back. Oh man, this tournament has had a history so far of just completely flipping the run, almost right at the end. Yeah, Gio says that was a frame away from soft blocking. That sounds about right. I thought it soft blocked. That would have been so crazy. Right after getting the lead, soft blocking. That's rough. One thing I have noticed from Kaz is that they are very quick at loading the game up after it closes. So they might be able to get a little bit of a boost on that. Kaz is now 23 seconds behind their PB. They went from 5 seconds behind to 23 to give some perspective on how big of a time loss that was in the library. I didn't quite see if Joe talked to the left side or the right side of the bed there. I believe Kaz talks to the right side. Seems like Joe had Clover open. Did everything right. Very fast. That was so risky. That was a very risky open from Kaz, but I don't blame him for going for that. He knows he needs it. If you open the game too early while doing these like sleep sequences, you basically end your run. Because you could open the game before it saves again. And what that does is it instantly brings you back to the last place you slept. In Kaz's case, it would have been library. Which would have basically been the run. Joe already onto the door puzzles. Kaz still has 3 or so. Not sure what to call this. Just walkway puzzles to do. Not really so much a puzzle, just walking in a direction, but... and try to pay attention to both these. See if either of them make any mistakes on the doors. Can be quite easy to miss. Looks like they're both doing them good. Joe finishes up the doors. Start of tower, right, my bad. Joe already finished with the first tile puzzle while Kaz is just getting finished up with the doors. This all comes down to what Joe's light bulb looked like. If Joe can get a good light bulb, he basically has this in the bag, but of course, again, Joe doesn't know how far ahead he is. He might think he needs a perfect light bulb to get this. A little bit of stopping. And Kaz has been known to have no-stop light bulbs, but I don't think it'll matter. Joe with a pretty strong light bulb overall, much better than the ones I do. Kaz knows he has to do no-stop, so he might just get it. No-stop light bulb from Kaz. I don't think it'll matter though, unfortunately. Joe is just a bit too far ahead. It's gonna come down to like... No, I think even if Joe misses the podium, it won't matter. They're just too far ahead. I don't think there's anything that can save it. That was a very good light bulb from Kaz, though, I will say that. Definitely a smart move to go for that after that time loss. But unfortunately, I don't think it's enough. So a solid 15 seconds or so behind. Maybe 10. Not quite sure. Joe taking a view over the edge. Saying the view looks great from here. Both opting for either side of behind the elevator. And Joe is entering the final room, and I believe that will be time for them. Just barely not a PB for them. Only a few seconds off. Kaz, I believe, will get a 23:40 or so. Now a bit. 23:42 probably. 23:35 for Joe. That's GG for him. And Joe ends up taking game 1. But again, this is a best of 3 sets, so Kaz could turn this around, who knows. Okay, we're going to have Kaz and Joe go back to the start of the game for round 2 in this match. Kaz already about there. Alright, Kaz is ready, and I believe Joe will be in a bit. Alright, and Slow is restarting our game, aka Joe. I'm not, it's not an insult to call him Slow, that's his username. Oh right, I'm gonna do something to have that score there. What can I do for that? I'm gonna do this. For how many wins they need to win the whole round. Shouts to my squeaky chair. But yeah, we are up 1-0 for Joe right now. Kaz going for a bit of shady tactics, a bit of grime right now between the runners. Absolutely nasty. Okay, both runners are right at the end. I'll ask them, say when they're ready, and then alright, Joe is ready, Kaz is ready. Alright, of round 2 starting in just a moment. Alright, and they should be off any second. Joe again starting up a little bit ahead of Kaz. We'll see how this one goes. Very nice maniac from Kaz once again, but Kaz makes up some time with the code. Much faster entry. I think their codes are about just as good as each other. I didn't notice either of them being particularly good or bad. So Kaz definitely did save a little bit of time there. A good house is very important to a good run. Nearly identical right now in real time, but Kaz is about a second ahead or so in the time that matters. Oh. Have a little bit of lag from Kaz's end. Oh. Okay, the stream lagged for a second, so I wasn't sure what was going on, but yeah, they got fork skip successfully. I believe Kaz messed that up last time. Actually, yeah, now that I remember, Joe started off quite a bit ahead last run. And then it swapped back to Kaz's favor, and then it swapped back to Joe. Quite a roller coaster for that one. We'll see if this one is just as tumultuous. I think that's the right word. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't look like a goofball. That was a 116 house, right? Alright. Joe, once again, looking a little bit ahead. Not quite sure what happened. I think Kaz might have messed up a bit of a fork skip there, aka pan skip. About 2 seconds behind right now or so. Oh, thank you, robot. I'm good. Oh, really fast opening there from Kaz. And actually, they're very much ahead now. Because Kaz's timer is about 4 seconds behind. Or 4 seconds faster than Joe's, and they're about at the same point in the game. So Kaz with now a pretty decent lead right out the gate. Again, the entire rest of the run is left, and we saw what happened last time, so... Don't quite know what'll happen with this. Barons should be pretty calm up until we get to safe. Definitely not too many places to make big mistakes here, unless if you make a wrong fast travel. They aren't too difficult, but who am I to speak? I reset Barons all the time. Alright, let's see. Yeah, Kaz is about 3 seconds ahead right now, despite how it looks in real time. Let me see if I can do this. Yep, there we go, now they're synced up. Almost barely not fully synced up in terms of timers. But now this is a real-time comparison. So however behind they seem is however behind they actually are. That sentence didn't make too much sense, but I think you get what I mean. Still tired, forgive me. And now Kaz has a pretty decent lead already. As I already said. There below you dingus. Okay, let's see what their codes are. That can matter quite a bit. Bad codes don't lose too much time, but really good codes save a lot of time. 9, 8, 5, 2, 6. Not too bad from Kaz. We have 7, 7, 9, 4, 6, 5. Very rough code from Joe. Pretty unfortunate. They do an okay job of entering it. Oh, and a wrong fast travel. That's gonna extend Kaz's lead a lot. That might just tie things up until Alula. And again, Kaz has had very strong Alulas so far. Including last race especially with no stops, so... Actually, I think last run, Kaz had a no-stop Alula and Light Bulb. Which is pretty insane to see in one run. Very high-level gaming right now. So it's gonna be tough for Joe to bring this back. I just have to hope that Kaz misses something big up. Because if there's... I think Kaz used to be defined right now, or recently, as like having the highest peaks, but not being the most consistent. But I think that's changing now. Kaz is like being incredibly consistent when it comes to things like Tower, like Light Bulb and Alula, two of the most important things in the run. I mean, of course, they did make the mistake on Kip Skip last time, but that'll just happen sometimes. I don't think that's a matter of consistency. Being able to consistently pull off no-stop Light Bulbs and Alula puzzles is incredibly important. Being able to do that in any capacity. Oh, Kaz with a little bit of a mess up on their menuing. Oh, and Joe messes up picking up an item. That's a lot easier to do than it seems. Because from a spectator's perspective, you might just see, oh, why did I just walk around the item? That's dumb. That's a really dumb mistake to make, but it's very easy to do, actually. I recall losing a world record run to, there was a single NPC I had to talk to from a single direction, and I walked around them in circles for about 5 seconds straight. Completely not on purpose. It's very easy to do something like that. Definitely not as goofy of a mistake as it seems. Because again, like I said earlier, if you mess one thing up, if like one thing just goes a little bit off in this game, it's very easy to just completely panic. and breakdown. That's especially important in these races because I think one of the best parts of having this tournament is that one-shot running can normally be very different. Like, you can often see people restart, like, people reset in house a lot. It's pretty rare that most runs even, only about 20% of runs at best make it out of Barons. So seeing consistent runs out of Barons because it's a race, obviously you don't reset, it's very nice. Kaz enters that cutscene on a 58. Jo might just be around 10 seconds behind here. About 12 seconds behind. It's gonna be very tough to make up. It happened last round though, so I can't quite call it here, obviously. But we'll see. It's always a matter of, like, one runner can mess it up, but the other runner has to take advantage of that. I said that a few times during this tournament, but it's really important to remember. It's just because, like, Kaz messes up a light bulb right at the end, for example. That doesn't matter for Jo unless if he has a really good light bulb. Because otherwise, they're just not saving much time. Kaz with the good robot RNG. That robot NPC, you can see on Jo's screen right now. If you look over there, you'll see it. There's a robot walking around. And Jo got unlucky. The robot can walk in any direction, any movement. So it's pretty common for them to walk right in the way of Nico and force him to move up a tile, losing just a tiny bit of time. Oh man, I'll wake it up. I'm getting better. Still very tired though. Alright. We have Kaz heading right towards the little puzzle, and Jo a little bit behind. I'm personally expecting Kaz to get a pretty good one here, but with great reward comes great risk. But it doesn't quite matter for Kaz because he nails it again. Oh my god, how does he do it every time? We'll see how Jo's goes. This is going to be really important. Not bad at all. Definitely not no stop, but that's better than I could ever do it. But of course, it wasn't no stop entirely, so Kaz is gonna save a little bit even. Because Kaz is gonna save even more time over Jo from that alone. And this is gonna look like a much harder match for Jo after that. Kaz getting started on the ramp puzzle already. Jo only now just entering the area. See if they go for the demon ram. They don't, because the ram messed them up. A little bit of movement problems on the ram puzzle there. Pretty easy to do. Oh. Kaz with the wrong fast travel. That's pretty big. Yeah. If you look over on Kaz's screen, they're pretty expressive with their mouse movements. So you can kind of get a peek into the runner's mindsets by looking at their mouse movements on screen if you can see it from their POV. Oh, I love that. Alright, let's see how the times are looking right now. Exits the room on about a 50. It looks like it's still about 12 seconds behind, yep. For Jo. And that is a lot of time to make up. Given how good Kaz is at tower, and given that they don't mess anything huge up like last time, I think we might see a game 3 here, but of course we're technically only just about halfway through the run now, so there is still a lot of stuff going on. Something might happen. Who knows? Does pretty well with Magpie. And now Joe's following suit. Joe's about 14.5 seconds behind their PB, while Kaz is only 2.4 seconds behind his. And Kaz has a 6-second faster PB than Joe. So that's pretty huge. Very good menuing from Joe there. Kaz now enters the refuge. Solid 12 or so seconds ahead of Joe. Pretty dominant right now. But of course, that's how it looked last run. Actually, last run I believe was a lot closer. Last run I think Joe was around 4 seconds behind. At this point. So Kaz does definitely have some room to breathe, as in if they make a little bit of mistakes, it might not matter that much. They have 12 seconds worth of mistakes to use here to stay ahead. But of course they're not going to go for that. They're going to hope they don't have to use any of that. And again, they don't even know that. Kaz doesn't know that he's even ahead of Joe at all. So the pressure is still definitely on for both runners. Especially so for Joe right now from our perspective, but he doesn't know that. Kaz enters the cafe, gets the clean item grab. It's surprisingly easy to mess up that item grab, despite it literally just being walking up to a tile and pressing A on it. Surprisingly easy to just walk right by it. Joe gets it as well, not bad. Begins apartments. Yeah, we'll see what Georges they get in a little bit here. Kaz has gotten pretty unlucky so far this entire marathon with the Georges. Because this last run versus Gio, he got a George 3. And now another run versus Joe, he got another George 3. Both two of his hardest matchups in the entire tournament. Very clean menuing from Kaz. That was so good. I loved how quickly their cursor moved down to that bottom item there. Pretty good from Joe as well. Not quite as fast, I don't think, but still very good. Only about probably a 1/10 of a second or two. That. But of course, time is time. Kaz about to get the elevator code in a little bit here. See how that goes for them. Oh, and we have a missed fast travel from Joe. And Kaz nails the elevator code. That's going to extend his lead by a solid 2 or 3 seconds. See how Joe's elevator code goes. 63014, no problem. Alright. Pretty big lead for Kaz here. I'm not sure how Joe would be able to make this up with speed alone. I don't even think it's possible, really. Well, it probably is possible theoretically, but only on a theoretical level. Did they mess up a little bit of menuing there in the elevator? I think Joe might have misinputted there, but I'm not sure. It seemed like they were in an elevator a bit longer than normal, but I don't think so. We got George 2 guess. If anyone can successfully guess both Georges, I'll give them a sub. I'll give them a sub. But you gotta be quick, because Kaz is about to see theirs. Joe gets 4. Oh, we got another George 3. Oh my god. Jesus, man. And we have George 4. Oh, Toothy was right on that. That's good enough. Go get the sub. I asked right before, I'll get the sub. Congratulations for Toothy for winning the subscription. Good enough. I didn't lose $10. I lost $2.50. Very clean kip skip from Kaz. And despite the George 3, Joe is still... Oh, that should be fine. Okay, yeah. Pretty scary kip skips from Joe here so far, but they've been working out. Yeah. Kaz isn't good enough. Just messing up the RG, come on, man. But huge lead coming into tower. Oh. Didn't have Clover open. You saw their file browser open there for a second. That'll be a little bit of a time save for Joe, but not too much. Kaz is gonna have to make a big mistake here on Lightbulb. Because there's a, to be quick, there's a program you have to have open when going into tower if you want to proceed through it. And it's very easy to just forget to open that at start of a run, meaning you have to do it mid-run, as Kaz just did. Which can be pretty scary. Because of course, when you're going into tower and you're trying to do well, you're not thinking about opening up any programs. Kaz with a very risky open there again. But of course, they are still quite a bit ahead. Looks like they're about 8 seconds behind or so. About 9 seconds. Yeah, starting up the door puzzles now. Yes, today, after this match is probably going to be Wumbo versus iPie. And then if Yisk is around, it'll likely be, you versus Yisk. After that. And then I think Geo versus the winner of that. But we'll probably do a little bit of a break between that, so whoever wins your match versus Yisk doesn't have to do 2 runs right in a row. Because Baster isn't around today. At least won't be for a little while, so we won't be able to do his match. Wait. Wait. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god, I was talking, I didn't... Oh goodness. That might just be game. Oh, okay, Joe messes up light bulb a little bit, but I don't think it matters. Oh no, Kaz. The heartbreaking mess ups on both runs. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's brutal. The doors. He messed up the doors. If you go through the wrong doors, you can lose a lot of time. That's probably set. I don't see a way Kaz could win this. I did not see that coming at all. Oh my god. I was just talking and I looked over it and Joe was on the tiles and Kaz was still on doors. Oh my god. Oh, that's heartbreaking. You don't want to see it end like that. Oh man. And I think that's just the set for Joe. Yeah. Oh man. That is brutal. And Joe takes the set with a 23-41. Just barely. Oh goodness, that was I feel that hard. That's so easy to do sometimes. Yes, Joe is in the grand finals now, and Kaz has to win the loser's bracket in order to get back at that. Ah, Joe will take the W and move on. Yeah. Joe will move on to the grand finals, and Kaz with the very heartbreaking mess up. Fading music. But good on Joe for being very, very consistent. Not many major mess ups. Like, at all. Bit slow on some things, but sometimes consistency is just what you need. So good stuff to them. They'll be moving on the bracket. I will update the exclamation point bracket quick. Oh hey, I've gifted 5 subs. Nice. Okay. On 2-0. That'll be that match. Very unfortunate, but W is a W.